One. Hey everybody! Welcome to Trials of Tartarus. I am your strife maker, Diana. Thank you so much for joining us. We really love it if people are here so that we aren't screaming into the void. You'll notice that there's an absence this evening. Mr. B. Dave is over running D4's stream for the evening. But my beautiful heroes that have joined me, Mason, Tanya, and Justice. Mason, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Mason Dula. I'm the Dungeon Master over on WizardX TV, and you should, if you like D&D and stuff, you should go give us a follow. Also, Diana pulls me in for stuff occasionally, so here I am.
And Miss Tanya.
Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm Celisa Storio on Rivals of Waterdeep, which aired earlier today. I am DMing Dungeon Crossing, which is D&D but played in Animal Crossing with Gary Whitta, Shannon Woodward, Brian Gray, and Adam Nickerson, and we're doing our next session next Saturday. So we'll see how well we can pull off the gimmick of D&D while in Animal Crossing.
I have faith in you. I have
Yay!
faith.
I'm glad someone does, because some days I don't have it in me. And then Wednesday, I'm DMing a fun little one-shot with an Infernal Goose.
Yay, Infernal Geese! Speaking of geese, Justice hates geese.
I hate them.
Talk to me,
Speaking of the
Justice.
geese.
What do you do? What's
Well,
your jam?
They're like, they walk around like they own the place all over the pond.
I didn't
and
just mean with
poop
geese.
on
I
them.
kind of meant with life.
Oh, yeah. I do have a deep hatred for mushrooms, seafood, and geese.
It's okay to be wrong. You can be wrong. You can be wrong if you
I
want
am
to.
half the team here at Bard and Barbarian. You can find me Saturday mornings doing one-on-one shots, storybooks, our Saturday morning cartoons, and here in the evenings on Sunday doing Aegon. We've got a couple more things coming down the pipe, including next week-ish, maybe. On Q Times, Mason, Diana, and I will be turning into some werewolves.
Werewolves. Cool. Well, I promised that I would do something tonight, and I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. But I promised, so I have to. Hi, I'm B. Dave Walters, and I'm really just an expert of all the things. I do all the things on all the channels. I play all the D's and D's and the vampire, and I'm Victor Temple, and you can watch me play games literally everywhere on the internet because I don't sleep like a normal person. Hey, have you heard about this cool Indiegogo I have going on? It's something that you should look at. Let me see if I can drop a link.
Dave.
Oh, I'm gonna be really sad if it doesn't work. Shit.
I was about to do that too.
Give it. No, I made a link. I'll get that fixed. Diana doesn't know what she's doing over there behind the computer, but, you know, I like her anyway, so we'll just go ahead. Anyway, again, I'm B. Dave Walters, and I'm super sorry that I'm not here tonight. Thanks for that, B. Dave. Yeah.
Thanks, B. Dave.
But Dave. I am...
It's amazing you can just summon him like that.
You know, he's with me always in my heart.
Yeah.
I am Diana, and contrary to the past 30 seconds, I'm going to be the strife maker for the evening, which means that I make all of the trouble for my beautiful players here. When we last left our group, they had concluded an encounter with a chimera, of which they were victorious, saving the island of Namphos, and in so doing, recruiting a new crew member. They had discovered Memnon face down on the beach and decided to put his warrior skills to good use as part of their party. They encountered Thank you, Tanya. They encountered an angry goddess who seems to have made it her mission to torture Memnon, but decided to take him along anyway, as a true hero would. You all retired to your ship, found your respective bunks, and laid down for a good night's rest. In the morning, the three of you awaken to complete silence. Who do you think is going to wake up first between the three of you?
I
Okay.
will.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not about I'm nimble-handed, not necessarily the like
Nimble-handed
hearing.
sleeping in.
Yeah.
I will get up with the dawn to make my offerings to the gods.
Pamphilus, you rise in the morning, and it's deathly quiet. And it takes you a moment to sort of adjust to that stillness because you are used to the battlefields of Treya, and silence is definitely not something you're used to awakening to. You quickly realize, though, that this silence is not normal. And looking around your cabin, you notice that the other sailors who had been less than a few feet from you the eve before are gone.
Well, I'll assume that they are out on deck and get up and go in search of them. Go about my daily routine of giving praise to the sun and moon and stars and gods.
Okay.
Whatnot.
You rise and you head to the deck, only to note again there's no one nearby. The thick fog that you had encountered the previous morning surrounds the ship right now. But the ship doesn't even seem to be moving. It's almost dead in the water. You don't hear the lapping of waves against the hull. You don't hear another crew member. You don't hear seabirds. It's dead quiet. About this time, Hero and Katia, you two will also rouse to find the same situation.
I look to these two. Did we just float out into the middle of the ocean last night? What's going on?
If I recall correctly, we were to sail with the tide in the morning, correct?
Yes, but that requires a crew.
So, are we on the top of the deck right now?
Yeah, you two rose and went to the deck like you normally would in the morning,
Okay.
probably thinking that the rest of the crew had already gotten up
Okay.
and gone to their oars by now.
Okay, and as we take a look around, just like how far can I see like out past the ship at this point? Like, is it just clear?
No, it's foggy.
That's what I thought. But
You
I
can
wasn't
see
sure if
about
I heard that.
10 feet from the front of the ship, but it doesn't really matter right now because the ship's not moving. You don't see waves, you don't see a wake or anything like that. You're just
Stillness.
still.
Yeah. I'm going to lean on the edge of the ship because in the past day, Hero's gotten a lot wiser, he thinks. So he's going to sit and just kind of stare off into the mist, pondering the situation.
Katia and Pamphilus, for all intents and purposes, you see Hero walk on deck, take a glance around, and then just sort of plop his ass down and stare off into the distance.
Is he quite all right?
I don't know. Maybe he's just so stunned that's all he could do?
That does not seem the Hero I know. Perhaps the queen shut him down last night, and that really affected his psyche.
Then you'd think he would hide in his cabin and not show his face yet.
That's what you or I would do, but he is a hero.
Fair. I mean, the queen didn't shut everyone down last night.
Ho! I shall make a song of this.
Just to make sure that you capture how well I rewarded my queen.
About this time.
That is my specialty.
Oh, you write smut pamphlets? About
Smut
this time,
songs.
the stillness is broken only momentarily by a brief. And at the bow of the ship, where previously you had lost a crew member to the swells that you encountered yesterday morning, and where there used to be an altar, stands a woman, slightly taller than you all, larger in stature. She wears a blue tunic, very simple, covered in plain leather armor. An owl sits on her shoulder, and she stares at you in gray eyes.
drop to the deck.
Yep. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, down on one knee. We know who this is.
I'm pleased to know that you are not so foolish as to insult your hostess. Rise, heroes.
All right, so
She was talking to me.
I just like smack Hero on the back of the head, lightly, like she met all of us. That's just your name.
Well, she was okay.
I'm going to take a step away from them.
No, that's all I do, and then I just give her all my attention.
Are you quite finished, mortals?
Yes. Yes, my lady.
I want to welcome you to my realm. You all have picked up a passenger who is very important to me. Memnon has suffered much, but he has also completed great deeds in honor of his gods and goddesses.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly makes him special?
Well, he's completed a great deal more than you, my dear. I see wonderful things in your future, but
So you're saying there's a chance that I may also garner the attention of such beautiful women as yourself.
I am no woman, mortal.
Well,
I do not waste my time on the follies of man. You would do well to keep such insolence to yourself.
I'm gonna turn to Katia. Does this mean Memnon is not a man?
Not now, Hero. Just stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking.
I suppose you all have come to wonder how he fell into your company.
We were wondering, yes, if you would deign to tell us.
The men who took Memnon aboard their crew when leaving the battlefields of Treia were not adequate. They would not serve my purposes, and therefore there was no use for them. My uncle took quick care of them. Soon they were at sea. I sent him to you, hoping that perhaps you could provide more worthy support for his ventures, and my glory by extension.
Oh, certainly, always to the glory of the gods.
Which god do you serve, mortal? She's eyeing you, Pamphilos.
The god of creativity and creation, Hephaestus himself, as well as Apollo on occasion, with my, hopefully, what I think are adequate offerings upon the stringed instruments.
Hephaestus is known for his craftsmanship, and you have chosen well there. However, Apollo is wasteful, frivolous. Katia, you have done me great honors. I am proud to have you as part of this team.
Thea gives a bow, and you do me great honor. I aim to serve.
The three of you have been chosen to accompany Memnon for several reasons. Primarily, my prized warriors have been slew in great numbers in the past 10 years. I hope to build better heroes that I might get to sing the praises of a few more before this civilization is dead and gone. Memnon is sure to be one of them, but he will not be alone. I hope you all can share in his glory. But there will be tests. Not just from me, but from all of Olympus. Do you accept these challenges?
Point us in the direction, and you will have glory abound.
Of course. I accept and I plan to excel.
And I am certainly eager to take my place among heroes such as these.
Good. I would have hated to kill you so soon. Well, have a look around. Welcome to my spire. And before you realize it, the three of you are standing on a barren patch of earth in a lush forest. Again, thick fog is rolling in between the trees, and now you can hear the sounds of nature. And it sounds like there's life, abundant life, all around you, but you're no longer standing on your ship. Athena still stands in front of you, staring you all down with a slight smile. This is where we shall begin our journey together. Look around you. This is my island. Everything here responds to me and follows my command without question. You will be presented with 3 challenges to prove your worth as crewmates of Memnon. Not only crewmates, but should you succeed in these challenges and aid him in his quest to glory, I shall write your very history in the stars, and you shall be known as heroes for eternity. And then another quick flash of light. And the 3 of you are standing in a stone room. Smooth walls, smooth floor of white marble. There doesn't look to be a ceiling, but sunlight or something very similar seems to just shine very brightly from above you. In front of you, there's a scale. Huge golden scale. Blue flames are alight in one side. And directly behind you, on a pedestal, sits a oil vat, again with blue flames. The scale is tipped to one side, weighted where the flames are currently burning. In the flames, you see a young man, no more than 12 or 13 years old. The flames don't look like they're burning him. He's just sitting there. But you do notice one thing. This boy is staring at you all with such hatred deep in his eyes. And then you take a moment to examine his garb, and you can see that he's wearing the colors of Treya, blue and gold, embroidered threads throughout his tunic. And you recognize that this must be the child of the enemy. As you're examining this, Athena's voice, for she's no longer in front of you, rings out clear and crisp in the room. Warriors forged in battle hardened Treya. Strength and resolve of bronze. But how do your hearts fare in times of peace? What value does a life hold? Speak your truth to the flames and show your true self to your crew. So again, in front of you is a scale. One side, the weighted side, currently holds a vat of blue flames that envelops the vision, maybe? I mean, otherwise he'd be getting burned. But a small child, clearly from Treya, who's just glaring at the 3 of you. And behind you is another vat of blue flames, this one not showing anything. I am happy to repeat that if you would like.
Can I just gently walk over? Like, if I get... is the boy reacting as I get closer?
He's just glaring at you.
Can I walk around to the other side? Does he just continue to follow me? Like, is it one of those, like, Mona Lisa things where his eyes just follow me no matter where I go?
No, he doesn't, like, exorcist whip his head around.
Okay.
Excuse me. Actually, you walk beyond him to see that behind the actual scales themselves, there's a rift in the floor, also filled with blue flame. And on the other side of that rift, there's the cutout of a doorway in the wall opposite you.
I would just like to point out that we are heroes in our own right. I don't know how I feel about being written into somebody else's story so aggressively.
Katia looks at both of them. Do you really want to argue with a goddess?
Of course not. That's why I'm saying it to you all. She's not here.
She can probably still hear us.
I woke up this morning thinking my path was to become a wiser man. But now Athena has shown me that is absolutely ridiculous, and that I must continue off my path down towards glory. So, if there's any truth other than the fact that my heart is purely intent on bringing glory to the gods and myself, I don't know what else there is. And women also, on occasion. I'll figure that one out. We're still working on it. And so I'm going to step up, and I'm going to, if I gently kind of put my hand over the flame on the right, is it going to, do I begin to feel heat as I get closer?
The flame on the right with the little boy in it?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the left side is the one.
Yeah, the left side is empty. There's nothing there right now.
Oh, I thought you said it was just empty with flame. Okay.
No, the left side is completely empty. You get the sense that the counterpart to the left side of the scale is the blue flame that's behind you guys.
Gotcha. Well, having stated what at this point is Hero is believing to be his true goal, at least for a moment, I think he's going to approach the fire. Does it get hotter as I get closer?
Nope.
I'm going to very gently kind of poke it.
You can feel the flames licking your hand, but it's not like heat. It's almost like a breeze instead.
As I go to now kind of like scoop it up in my hands, I'm not going to proclaim it as loudly as I did, but I assume they can still hear me. Glory can be had in many ways, and sometimes looking out for those less than yourself is one of those paths, and in times of peace I think that is where my path lies. And so I'm going to very gently try and scoop up some fire.
Repeat what you just said again for me, the bit about in times of peace.
In times of peace, he's saying that his intent would not be to necessarily tear people down anymore and to like kill them. It's instead that he's trying to protect people who can't protect themselves.
Okay. You go to scoop up the flames and you just sort of, and they fall through your fingertips.
Well, Pamphilios, this is your cue to go. Seems like your sort of thing.
And nothing happened to the scale when he spoke to the flames?
Nothing happened to the scale. So what Athena had said was warriors forged in battle-hardened Treya, strength and resolve of bronze. But how do your hearts fare in times of peace? What value does a life hold? Speak your truth to the flames and show your true self to your crew.
Okay. Well, I don't know if this is truly my forte or not, but I shall give it a try. And I'll approach the flame and I'll say, Whether in times of peace or in times of war, my true calling is to bring to life the stories and legends of the people. And I seek to continue that with the warriors and my comrades, whether in peace or war, but always to the glory of the gods, and to bring about the true story of every individual. And I'll sing a song with it.
The song is beautiful, and nothing appears to change with the flames. The boy looks slightly less upset. He's almost pacified by your dulcet tones. But nothing stirs in the pot of blue flames in front of you.
While he's doing this, how big is the scale? Like, is it big enough for me to, like, I don't know, sit in?
Yeah, it's human-sized.
I'm going to be kind of like, I'm going to go sit on it.
Okay. You go and you sit on the scale, and nothing happens. It doesn't move. In fact, as you're sitting there, the metal beneath your rear end starts to heat. And it gets warmer and warmer.
Well, in my head, guys, I figured that a life was worth a life no matter what, but apparently this little boy is worth a lot more than me, so...
The flames sputter over in the dish.
What? Just maybe you need to set yourself on fire and stand on the scale. No, don't do that. I'm kidding.
I mean, what better way to show that your life is worth nothing and out of your fellow man?
As I hear her saying that, I'd leap into the fire.
So, as Katia says that, you charge headfirst towards these blue flames, and you take a running leap to jump into this vat. And as the last word leaves her lips, where she says, "One man's life is not worth more than another," the flames disappear from in front of you and reappear in the other side of the scales. They immediately start to balance, but you're flying through the air right now, and you just sort of crash and skid on this marble floor. Now, so here's the question. Are you gonna play this off when you land, or are you gonna just eat some crow?
Oh, I'm just gonna stand up and brush myself off. Well, do you think it was because I was intending to sacrifice myself? I assume that as well.
I feel like you vanquished the flame. It ran in fear at your ferocious assault.
Well, I wasn't assaulting it. I was It's fine. And it kind of sounded like Katia was saying the thing that I was saying, but in different words. So I guess something we did kind of like worked.
Yes, this is very much like the time that you killed that water.
I'm gonna see. Can I help? I want to reach into the one on the right and see if I can help the little boy out of the flames.
You go, and now he's like almost sitting at eye level for you because of how the scales have balanced. And you go to stick your hand in the flames, and it's like he's not there. Like, you can very much see the flames licking his calves and running over his tunic as he sits there and just stares at you, but it's as if he's not sitting there. Like a ghost.
Well, then I guess I'll say a silent prayer and leave him be.
Did the flames at the back of the scales change?
I was gonna say, Hero, from your vantage, you can see that in the little gap in the floor, now there's no flames sort of rushing out of there anymore. They appeared to be much, much lower. So you could step over them to get to over where the doorway is.
Tia strides forward and just like grabs the back of his tunic, is like, both of you did not solve this puzzle.
Kind of feel like I did. I'm gonna keep trying to walk as she's like.
Just like I've got him scruffed. Like, you're not going anywhere.
Could the both of you?
Oh God.
Roll me your name dice, but I'll tell you what. Both of you are also gonna roll your epithet dice, because I feel like...
I mean, I'm okay with her winning, holding me in the air.
Okay, but your character's fighting it.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right, so our
That's what I was trying.
a name dice. Anything else?
Nope, just those two.
11.
You said name and what?
Name an
Epithet?
epithet. Because I feel like nimble-handed applies here. You're probably kind of Dexy.
Not today, I'm not. So I add the numbers together, so a 1 and a 1 becomes an 11, right?
No.
Oh, Mason.
No.
You get ready to just like march off towards that door, but you're not going anywhere, and you can't figure out why this is happening. And Katia's just kind of holding you like this, watching your feet swing.
Tia's picking him up like a recalcitrant puppy.
Well, I appreciate the assistance, but I can walk quite on my own. I mean, if you it would be much more. If you were to cradle me like a child, I would feel a lot more comfortable, I suppose, is what I'm saying.
So out of character, if I throw him across the chasm, what will that cost me?
Well, it'll probably cost Hero some dignity.
Will it?
But it's also, keep in mind that you are currently the captain of your vessel. I know that you're also a rage-filled warrior, but just, if you want to throw him, you can throw him.
Okay, I'm not gonna throw him, but I am gonna like just literally put him behind me, and it's like, you go last.
Hero.
I mean, sure.
Taking up the rear is a defensive position, like...
It's also, she's the captain, and I completely am willing to let the captain go first.
Yeah.
It's like eating the food. I was going to test it, to make sure, but this is fine.
You'll be there to save her when something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's, I'm at the ready.
So the three of you approach this doorway. Now it just looks like it's carved into the stone. It doesn't actually look like there's a doorway there. But Katia, the minute you reach out and sort of touch it, another pop sound happens. And you find yourself in a banquet hall. Now this room has a very similar look to it. The marble is still covering the floor. It looks like it's a part of the same building, but much more built for mortals. In front of you is a rectangular table in traditional style with 5 place settings at it. Each setting is unique. They are all beautiful items from all over the world. Upon closer inspection, you recognize some of the patterns to be similar to areas that perhaps have been conquered by the Republic as of late. But all very distinct and all gorgeous. Athena's voice rings out clear once more. The Republic offers the safety of numbers and the strength of the spear. Though men crave power, they demand respect. Before you sit 5 kings. Earn their respect. And upon this last word, Katia, you look down, and in your hand has appeared a jug of wine. Hero and Pamphilos, between the two of you on a pedestal, has popped a serving tray.
So we also poofed to where she is?
Yes, all three of you did. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay.
A tray appears between you with a serving platter with 5 identical goblets. Each one fine, but they're not distinguishable by area of origin. So before you sit 5 kings, earn their respect. The table is set up so that there are 2 place settings on either side, And at the head of the table is the setting that most that reflects the Republic. It has the bronze and gold coloration that you all wear in your military uniforms that are the same colors reflected in the crest of the Republic you serve.
And the goblets are just kind of in a row, like they're not already set in places.
No, they're on this tray in front of you, in a circle.
Okay. And they're otherwise pretty, like there's nothing, as you kind of pick them up and look, there's nothing really super discernible. Okay.
There's goblets.
Okay.
You've probably drunk out of several that look just like this.
And it's just a kind of a regular, like rectangular table?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
If we were in the Republic at this moment, would we serve the Republic first, or do we serve the other kings first? Where do our loyalties lie first?
Well, are we being hospitable or are we being loyal or both?
I feel like in order to gain the respect of each individual king, we would want to be hospitable, yes?
Yes.
Do we know historically anything about these other 4 place settings beside the Republic one?
Looking at them, I mean, you can discern that they are distinct styles taken from other cultures that have been conquered by the Republic. Some that you immediately recognize. There's a purple and silver place setting that's very similar to an area just south of Treya that when the war first started, you guys went and sacked it and kind of took over there almost immediately. They were a very pacifist society and didn't really put up much of a fight. There are the blue and bronze colorations that you came to see a lot in Treya and their artists and the goods that came out of Treya itself. There's one that's green and gold, and then one that's a blue and red mixture.
If I pick up the cup, nothing happens, correct?
Correct.
So I make my way over to the table, and I want to first put one on the like furthest left side. So like if the head of the table's here, on the left side, the like furthest seat from that.
Okay.
I just kind of want to put it
like
down.
at the top of a U, sort of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to put it there and just make sure nothing happens first.
Nothing happens.
Can I go ahead and just put the cups out? I want to go kind of first serve to kind of left, right, then the closest sitting to him, left, right, and then sitting the last one handing it to the head of the table.
Pamphilus, are you going to let him just take all the cups and put them out?
I'm gonna watch and see what he's doing. He seems to have a plan.
Okay. You take the last cup and you place it in its rightful place on the table. And a sizzle of energy fills the room. And nothing happens.
Okay.
I'm still holding the wine, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to follow the order that Hero put the cups down, but pour them all wine, and give the Republic King the most serving.
Okay. You go to do this, and as you start the process, you go to that first cup and you begin to pour the wine. And you notice 2 things almost immediately. The jug that you're holding to pour from doesn't get any lighter. And the cup in front of you doesn't fill.
Perhaps we should. What if there are 5 places and there are 3 of us? What if we fill the cups on the tray, and I put 2 out at the same time as Hero? You put 2 out, and Katia, you put the last one, and we do it all at the same time. They're all kings, right? They should all be presented the same way.
That works.
Sure, makes sense to me. So we're gonna fill them all up and then just kind of plonk them down.
Yeah, so we'll put them back on the tray, and I'll go and grab them all and put them back on the tray, and then we try and fill them up now, and perhaps they will fill with wine.
good a plan as any.
So you retrieve all the cups and you put them back on the tray. And Katia, you walk over with the wine decanter and you start pouring. And this time you actually feel that some wine is coming out of the decanter, and it does start to fill the cups. You fill all 5.
Okay. Yes. All right. So shall we proceed? That's step 1 worked.
All right.
So we'll each grab 2, except for Katia. She'll have 1 for the Republic set, and we'll hold them there. And all right, on the count of 3, 2, 1, and down.
You place all of the cups, and the same sort of hum of energy fills the air. And in the same minute, you start to hear voices, as if you are actually in the room where 5 kings are having a conversation. You don't see anything, but you hear the sounds of life around you. And across the room from you, almost directly behind the seat for the head of the Republic, the wall begins to glow just slightly in an archway. And the light burns and fades to reveal an opening.
Hey, Pamphilos, tell me, are kings men normally?
Specifically, yes, kings are, as opposed to queens. Is that what you are referencing?
No, I was just curious. I'm trying to figure out. You know what? We'll come back to it later. I want to see what our next trial is.
Katia, do you know what?
I think our dear hero is trying to calculate his odds of success if the next room has queens instead of kings.
Ah.
Well, you got me there. I'm just going to stride off towards the door.
I'm just going to let him go. And I just look at Pamphilos like,
He is nothing if not mission-oriented.
he's something oriented. And I walk side by side with Pamphilos through the door.
So this doorway opens up into almost a hall. And again, this hall it extends to either side of you. So you walk and then you see to your left and to your right, the white marble flooring extends, and it has more of that sort of unnatural but natural lighting coming from above. It doesn't appear that there's an immediate exit, but what you do see is there are basins of water against the opposite wall, sort of dotted throughout this hallway.
Is the water clean, dirty?
So you walk to inspect one of the one that's closest to you, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Okay. So you walk to inspect this this water repository, and the surface of the water is so still that it should be mirrored, right? Like you should be able to see a reflection in it. But instead, in a moment, a familiar mist rolls over the top of the water. And instead of seeing just your reflection there, you see an image of Memnon on the battlefield at Treia. His spittle and sweat just sort of flying through the air as he cuts down man after man after man. And you watch as all of this happens silently. And all you can hear while you're looking at this on the surface of the water is the pounding of what you assume to be Memnon's heart as he's living through this moment of the battle.
Okay. If I reach out toward the water, does anything happen?
No. The image is disturbed and sort of ripples for a moment, but nothing happens.
All right. I'm guessing that all of these are probably similar.
They could be. You'd have to go and look.
How many are there, you said?
There look to be 8 or 9.
How large? Are you talking?
They're perhaps 2.5, 3 feet wide. Okay. Across the surface. So it's like a gazing pool.
Gotcha.
What do you see in that pool?
Our friend Memnon, exploits of battle. And it felt as if I was there with him. I could feel the pounding of his heart as he fought to stay alive.
Hmm.
My guess is the rest of these pools hold similar visions.
Shall we inspect that?
Yes.
All right. I will leapfrog her to the next one.
Are you going to the right or to the left? Because she kind of walked straight.
Oh. Can you give me the layout again?
So you all are walking basically into the center of this hallway. So it extends off to your left and off to your right. Katia walked directly across from the doorway to the first, to the closest gazing pool.
I shall go left. Always left.
And then I'll go right.
Okay. So Pamphilos, you approach the next water basin. And as you're looking at it, again, that mist sort of rolls over the surface of the water. And instead of seeing Memnon, you see a youth with golden curls staring hard into a shield. It sort of catches the light, and he's staring at it intently. There's beads of sweat rolling down his face. And you notice his attention sort of perk up when, in the reflection on the shield, a figure sort of almost slithers through the background. And Hero, again, you walk up to gaze into this water basin, and again a mist rolls over the top of the water, and you see a vision of a queen in a large weaving room. She has the biggest tapestry you've ever seen in front of her, and it shows a battle that's got hundreds of men in it, easily the biggest tapestry you've ever seen, and she's just tying the last thread. And she takes a moment and she steps back to admire her work. And then as soon as she's had a moment to breathe, you see her walk up with a knife and just start tearing at the tapestry and pulling the threads that she just laid so carefully out.
Okay. I kind of like tiptoe, like I keep my eye on this one, see if I can see the other one from where I am, like the next closest one.
Like further to the right.
Further, I assumed I was gonna go all the way to the end, but yeah, I guess I'll just go to the one immediately to the right. It's fine.
You see more scenes of battle. Like again, the mist sort of rolls over the top of the water, and you recognize, having looked at now 2 of these, that it's probably important people or moments in Athena's life currently. And you sort of walk a couple steps further that direction, and you find a gazing pool that you haven't looked at yet. And again, the mist rolls over the top, and this one is different. In it, you see the reflection of a woman sitting in a window, the sun just rising, golden light illuminating her. A map sits in front of her where she reads. And as you watch, Athena appears next to her, and without disturbing the woman, takes a finger and just sort of runs it along her jaw. The woman, having noticed the presence of a goddess, smiles and turns to face Athena, and the surface of the water sort of ripples as the 2 women embrace, and the mist rolls over the top again.
She seems a lot nicer in this one.
Soft laughter approaches behind you, and you turn to see Athena standing there. Surely you didn't think I spent all of my days alone.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Come, your next challenge awaits. And she gestures to the previously closed off end of the hallway, to the left, further from where you're at. But your companions are along the way. It's now opened up into a large marble space.
All right. So, and neither of us see anything else. No other pools or fog.
You pass by more basins if you're walking towards the room that Athena has gestured to. They depict battle scenes, more heroic acts that you see occurring. Some from people that you recognized. You recognized Achilles in one of the images. You recognized even Hector of Troy. Several characters that you'd heard of and several that you didn't know, and several scenes that looked completely unfamiliar. They were places you'd never been, with people wearing odd styles of clothing and speaking in tongues that you couldn't understand. But memory after memory after memory sitting in this hall.
Okay. I'm going to make my way toward the door that Athena has shown us.
The three of you step into this room, followed by Athena. And you look in front of you, and the room that you're in now is not a room, but a temple. It's pillared on both sides. It looks like it's on top of a mountaintop. And again, that thick fog is sort of rolling around the outside of the building, but you can definitely tell that you're outside at this point. In front of you are 5 separate altars. Looking at them, you can tell that they're dedicated to different gods. There's one that's obviously to Zeus, one that's to Hera, one to Poseidon, one to Athena, and one to Ares. All 5 of these altars look the same. There's nothing different about them except that they're all designated to each god. So on Athena's shrine has a little olive branch on it. Hera's has the mark of the hearth. Poseidon's has his trident. You can tell who they're attributed to. In front of the altars on the ground are 5 golden coins. You turn around and Athena is gone. But again, through the air, her voice rings true. Make your offerings, mortals.
Are the 5 gold coins, are they all together on the ground?
Yes.
I'm going to pick them up and see if there's anything different about them or if they're identical.
You take them and you turn them over in your hand, and they all look exactly the same. They're the denarius that you've come to see quite a bit of around the Mediterranean.
There's nothing else in this room.
Nope.
Is this a trick? I mean, we're in Athena's palace, right? Shall we not just give all of the offering to Athena?
That was my question as well. I mean, I hope she intends for us to enter her Hall of Memories at some point, but I'm a little hesitant because so far I'm not completely understanding how her mind works, and I don't think I ever shall.
Well, she's a goddess. You're not supposed to.
She's also quite wise.
I don't think Athena would want all of the homage just for herself.
So do we do equally? For if we do equally, then Athena may be offended that we gave all of them the same, or if we don't, if Zeus finds out or Hera finds out that we didn't give an equal offering to one of them, then our lives are forfeit.
Who do you both honor?
Hephaestus.
And I, Hera.
Hephaestus is not even recognized in this time.
Is there a statue of Hermes?
Nope.
What of Ares?
There's an altar in his honor.
It's like
sitting
crappy
right
one. It's
next
like
to
the toilet.
Athena's. Yeah, no. His has the the sign of a dagger on it, which is
Okay.
So it's Ares, Zeus, Hera, Athena,
Poseidon.
Poseidon.
Well, since my chosen deity is not here, I will pay tribute to Ares. And Katia offers the other coins to them.
He is your sire, is he not?
I wouldn't use such crude words as sire, but yes.
Well, I wish only to have perhaps one coin for Hera then. But if this is indeed a puzzle, I don't know that that's going to be the right answer.
2 coins for Athena, 1 coin for each of our choices.
Well, hold now. The coins are not all we have to offer. What does Ares value? He values strife and war. Would a drop of blood do for him, perhaps?
Yes, but he could appear and get my blood at any point. But if one of you were to wet the coin with your own blood, perhaps he would be satisfied.
Makes as much sense as anything else.
No,
but
hold, friend. What? Before we jump to a single one, perhaps we should see what we do have to offer for the other 5 gods, or 4. I mean, what does Hera value?
does anybody have like a like, can I just like start digging through? Do we have our stuff, or was that like left on the ship? Do we even have weapons? Do we have anything, or are we just like clothes and that's it?
You have what you would normally take up on deck with you to start your day.
Probably not our weapons, just our like dagger or sword that's in our sheath.
You wouldn't. Katia never goes around unarmed.
Katia probably has extra knives. She was just like ready for a fight that morning. She's got like 6 stuffed in her sandals and stuff.
The old sandal holster, yeah. I have my lyre, and I could offer, but none of these gods are particularly known for their love of song and poetry. I fear maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Have you any ideas?
Maybe we're just meant to take the coins.
That's a good spot for us to take a quick break, a bio break for
an
everybody,
offering
to let this sort of marinate for a few minutes. So let's say we'll be back at 8:35 Eastern. 8:35 Eastern. Okay. BRB, guys. Told you I had balls.
Oh, wait, what?
Well,
Welcome back. When we left our heroes, they were trying to decipher a particularly rude puzzle from the goddess Athena, who is testing you all right now. So you stand before 5 altars for Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Athena, and Ares, with a stack of 5 gold coins. Athena has told you to make your offering.
So we're ruling out that, like, growing old here alternate dimension thing that we talked about off screen.
If you want to camp out here and die, that's not very heroic.
right?
Like
I
to
mean,
take
other
Patience
than,
is a virtue and is of the utmost heroism.
That's not very hero. Hero wouldn't say that.
You're right, he wouldn't.
He would not.
I mean,
There's-
from this morning, he was a wise man, and he would have, but now he's been shown the error of his ways.
I was really loving Hero this morning, like, trying to be introspective and just, like, not. Like, like that was a good moment. That was great, and I enjoyed it.
We'll see how the rest of it goes. Has anybody even... So we've taken the coins. We've picked them up at this point. Correct?
Yes, Katia has them in her hand right now.
right, and I'm just, well, what we doing?
I'm just going to gently take one off the top. They're just normal coins, right?
Yeah.
No, they're chocolate coins. I'm just kidding. No, they're real.
Then all the gods want them.
No, they're regular gold denarius.
Okay. I guess... well, I guess we've got to try something. I'm going to go with our original plan, and I'm going to give mine to Hera. So I'm going to gently walk up, kind of glancing around, expecting a fiery trap as I kind of gently place it down on the altar. Does anything happen?
Nothing yet.
I pick it back up.
Still an altar.
I go to the next altar and I put it down.
Nothing happens.
I am stumped.
I have a proposition.
Yes.
So we can't leave a god out. That would be disastrous for our futures and everything. But what if we give a coin to each, but then we pay special praise to Athena, since this is her temple? She is the goddess of wisdom, after all, and war. So perhaps, bear with me here, what if we did a similar reenactment that we did for the boys on the shore, where I sing your praises and you to the glory of Athena act out a scene from the war that we've been fighting?
Sounds good.
Then we're not leaving anyone out, and we're paying tribute to the goddess whose home we're in.
I like this idea.
Sure. Whip out my weapons then.
All right. I guess we'll place a gold coin on each one, and then sing a song of war and wisdom and dance and poetry and.
So what story are you recounting? What song are you singing, Pamphilos? The honey-tongued?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
Sure. Honey-tongued Pamphilos. What song are you singing?
So I'm going to sing a song of one of the last battles before final
Like a
victory
definitive
was
battle.
declared. Yeah, one of the near final, not the final, but
Penultimate, you might say.
yes. Where both Katia and Hero distinguished themselves within their units in this battle. And so I will sing a song of the battle at large, and then focus on each one individually so that they can reenact their parts, giving glory to Athena as the goddess of war.
Katia and Hero,
Yes.
do you play along with this? Are you reenacting your part in the battle?
Oh, absolutely. And all things brain stuff, I listen to Pamphilos most of the time. So, like 60% of the time.
Can you show me what that looks like?
Oh.
So Katia.
Listening to him?
I want to see your reenactment, but Katia, go ahead.
Katia, she listens to what Pamphilos is saying, and when he gets to the parts about her valor, etc., she kind of hams it up just a little bit to show gratitude to Athena for guiding her in battle. Not ignoring Ares, of course, but thanking her for her wisdom and guidance during battle. And she, goes through forms and acts as if she's fighting off a slew of enemies, and kind of ends with bowed head and knee with tip of her sword touching the floor.
Okay. Hero?
Yeah, I think for this, Hero's probably going to... I don't know if he's going to ham it up, but he's certainly going to... What's going to be hammy about it is how serious he is. Like, he is absolutely...
He's pretending like he's in war.
Oh, 1,000%.
Okay.
Like, he is so in it. Like, two short swords just kind of whipping him around, like, dodging attacks that aren't there. Like, literally, like, shadow boxing, but with a whole army.
Okay.
And he's probably out of breath by the end of it.
Okay. So Pamphilos, you weave this tale discussing the great acts and the heroism of Katia on the battlefield, and describing how Hero's swords sliced faster than lightning through a summer sky, and you sing of the bravery shown by the Republic armies as they swept over Treya like a tidal wave. While all this is happening, where are the coins right now?
We put one on each altar.
You've put one on each altar?
Mm-hmm.
You finish your song, your Katia, the tip of your sword rests on the marble, and it kind of makes like a ting noise. And then there's silence for a moment. And then Athena's voice comes through the air. And where previously it had been very clear and very crisp, this time it's accompanied by a roll of thunder. You dare pay tribute to other gods in my house. You mortals dare to snub my hospitality. You shall suffer for this. You shall suffer for your insolence in my home. And then another pop. And you all find yourselves falling through the air, almost weightless, in complete darkness. And Athena's voice is the only thing surrounding you. And she says, I used to look upon mortals with favor until several showed me how pitiful and cruel you all can be. Have you heard of Arachne?
No.
I'm gonna. Hero's very much like looking around. He's also afraid of spiders.
Arachne thought it wise to challenge me to a contest of weaving. She too met a horrible fate. Only now, she serves a greater purpose. And the three of you hit the ground hard, and you find yourself outside in the clearing which you started in. Only now, the forest isn't hospitable. There are no birds chirping, there are no insects in the distance. It's dark, and the fog is still just wafting around you, blocking out vision more than 10 or so feet away. And you hear a rustle from above you in the tree line. It quickly moves in a complete circle above your heads.
Hello?
Back to back. Let's get back to back.
And as soon as you say that, from the tree line, this huge shadow, it must be as big as 10 men, comes swinging down on what looks like a silken rope. And it has the torso and the upper body of a beautiful woman, her black hair trailing behind her. Only where she would have worn a smile, 2 fangs extend from her lips, and her eyes are nothing but black. And below her torso is the body of a huge spider. And she comes at you, arms outstretched, fangs ready to bite. This is going to be a blood and valor challenge.
Well, shit.
Yeah, you guys thought you were gonna roll dice today.
The top half of you and me can make this work.
We thought we gave you more honor. If I think that, would Athena pick up on it?
She would, but she's a goddess, so she doesn't care.
Okay.
Now, the good news is I rolled like crap. So, you will be rolling to beat a 10 in blood and valor.
Can we roll anything else? Because I think Ironhearted would apply for me. And my name die.
Yeah.
So am I counting all 3 or just 2 of 3?
You only count the highest 2 of the 3 dice you'll roll.
Okay.
So you're rolling a d6 for your name, a d6 for your epithet if it applies, and then either...
Remember, we changed right before we started.
That's right, just kidding. D8 for your name die. Thank you for reminding me.
So
that's the equivalent of leveling up in this system, guys.
So I get 2 d8s and a d6. Then.
Correct.
Now, if we want to call in something else, when do we get to do that?
What are you going to be calling in?
I would like to cash in a bond, so that I can roll another d8 with one of my compatriots here.
Okay, who are you going to call upon?
Hero.
That's me.
Hero, you stand next to Pamphilos, and as this spider is sort of swinging out of the greenery towards you, it looks like he could use some assistance. What are you going to do to help Pamphilos prepare for this contest?
Well, if I may, I would like to just quickly, like, if I see that he's kind of like needing my help, I'm gonna quickly like sheathe the one sword and grab a dagger and see if I can just chuck it at her, to at least to get her to slow down as she is bearing in on Pamphilos.
Okay. So, Pamphilos, while you're preparing whatever it is that you're about to do to try and stop Arachne from killing you, you notice Hero, with a quick flick of the wrist, sort of tosses one of his daggers up in her direction, and though it doesn't make direct contact with her, it does sort of like graze off of her exoskeleton, distracting her for a moment as she's coming straight at you. So she's lost a little bit of inertia and momentum there as she swings towards you. So you get a copy of Mason's name die to roll now.
And just to be clear, what did we have to beat?
You had to beat a 10.
Okay, I beat that because I got a 13.
How badly did you roll, Mason?
I mean, I got a 9, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to add to it.
You got a 10, Justice?
Yes, and it's a very good thing I got an extra name die in there.
Okay.
Can I do something to help Pamphilos since I got 13?
Nope. We've already rolled the dice, so now we're kind of stuck. But he beat it,
Then
so it's fine. He did it. He did the thing.
I'm gonna then reverse that and call in my bond with Pamphilos, because apparently I still have 2 with him.
Cool.
So,
Pamphilos, how are you going to help Hero, having seen that he assisted you in this?
I'm trying to think what I would have with me. So I probably don't have my spear and shield. I just have my sword and my lyre.
I mean, it can be something as simple as triangling up, like the 3 of you were.
Then yeah, I'm gonna reach arms out behind me and get the other ones. So it's coming at me, I guess, is what we were painting?
I'm just imagining at this point she's just fucking like legs at us, and we're just like heroically blocking them so far.
Pretty much.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna interpose myself between Arachne and Hero.
Okay.
A leg that he didn't see coming. I'm gonna step in front of it.
She's still midair right now, but she's coming
Okay.
towards you, and you sort of sidestep him and like half block his body after he flings that dagger.
Since she's still in the air
Mm-hmm.
and I passed, can I just try to like shove them both out of the way?
I won't say you can't shove them both out of the way, but what you can do is try and get in a shot before Arachne is on top of them. What did you roll,
Okay.
Katia?
13.
Okay, then I think you're good. Hero, go ahead and add that other D8 to your dice pool and tell me
I
what you
did
ended up getting.
Still only a 10. However,
That's a success.
I'm going to announce here that I'm giving this set of dice away. Just so you guys know.
What dice
my-
were they?
It's opalite. It's don't worry, it's one of the one. Yeah, we're getting rid of it. It's gone.
Okay, so in this battle, Arachne is swinging through the air towards you, and Hero and Pamphilos, you two are like, you're both trying to get to her first, and you're both just like trying to elbow the other one out of the way to take a shot at this spider woman, and you
Is
know
it that, or are we hiding behind each other? I don't know.
true to form, Katia is there to save the day. So while you two are sort of muscling to get in a better position, Katia, tell me what this looks like when you charge Arachne.
Katia is almost like the opposite of when we were fighting the Chimera. Instead of like leaping down, she like does like this leap up with her sword up to try to stab Arachne in the thorax
Okay.
as she's like coming down to kind of meet in the middle and just cut her open if possible. And then lands and kind of rolls to her feet because she doesn't, I mean, it's Arachne. It's not going to be an easy fight.
So you're launching yourself sort of at the middle of her body with this first blow, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Hero and Pamphilos, while you're watching, Katia launches herself from the ground, extending her sword, and she catches Arachne right in the midsection between her thorax and her abdomen. And where her knife meets Arachne's flesh, a thick green ooze starts to come out of the wound. But this doesn't look like it's slowing Arachne down. Hero, what are you doing?
Having seen her do this, the dagger kind of meeting, I'm going to try to, if I may, Legolas style, like swing off one of the arms and get on back and try and see if I can like pull her away from Katia and Pamphilos.
Okay. Pamphilos, what are you doing?
I'm going for the legs. So I see Katia going for this big swipe down the middle. I'm going to start swinging my single-edged sword at legs as they're coming in and just trying to snap them off at the joints.
So Arachne, jaws wide, is coming down on the three of you, and Katia, as fast as you are, you zip underneath her and make a beeline for this connection between the thorax and the abdomen. Hero, you sort of just barely dodge her fangs and swing around behind her to get a good chokehold going on. Meanwhile, Pamphilos, you sort of do a spin to the side and catch one of the first legs that touches the ground in front of you. And so the three of you have landed wonderful hits on Arachne, who wasn't expecting much of a fight at all, it seems. Katia, you find that center between the two sections of Arachne's body, and just when it seemed like your sword was going to get stuck, you give it a good heave, and it actually cuts off a huge chunk of her abdomen, her lower body. And a blood-curdling shriek comes out of Arachne's voice. She just and sort of scuttles off to the side, shaking a little bit to try and lose you, Hero. Do me a favor, make another roll, but this time you aren't going to get to cash in your bond. Another blood and valor roll. And I don't think you're going to beat that.
Fucking damn it. Like,
I mean, you are fighting Arachne.
I haven't. Yeah, but I also haven't rolled above like a 5 tonight. Like this is going terrible. I got an 8 total on mine.
You know what, Katia and Pamphilus, I'm gonna have you guys make a roll too.
What are we rolling?
You're making another blood and valor roll for me.
Just
I don't roll well in this game. Like I don't know what it is.
The same dice pool that you had before, just minus your bonds.
Wow.
Danny, these are dice you gave me.
Sorry, I suck so bad.
That is only a 6 this time.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
Oh.
Hero,
Wait,
what'd
how
you end
you
up
got
with?
a 2?
I only have a 6 and an 8, and I rolled a 1
no.
on both of them.
Wow, you're great. Hero, what did you end up rolling?
I think it was only like an 8 total. I dicked around with my dice since then.
Yeah, you needed a 15. So I rolled a 10 on my d12.
Gotcha.
So the three of you having landed these great hits, you're almost surprised at how easy this seemed. This giant spider woman swinging out of the trees sent from Athena herself to kill you.
Yeah.
So you're almost shocked when you land these blows, and then as soon as all now 7 digits hit the ground, Arachne rears back, throwing you, Pamphilus. You fly about 6 feet and just sort of thud to the ground. Katia, your sword is still stuck in Arachne's thorax, but as she rears back, she takes one of her spider legs and just sort of swipes at you until you fall. Your sword clatters to the ground several feet away. And Hero, she reaches up and pulls you around to stare face to face at her. And she just screeches at you and throws you at a tree.
Hello there.
Are you gonna hit on the Spider Woman? Really?
You
got weird
described
standards,
the top
bro.
half being
She's
super
real
attractive,
hot, except for the fangs and the thorax.
That would work.
So you hit a tree and just sort of slump down, almost George of the Jungle style. And in the moment it takes you all to sort of recover your wits, there's another shuffle from the trees, and Arachne's gone.
Ouch.
And in another moment, Athena appears right in the center of the three of you in this clearing. A disapproving look on her face. And she snaps her fingers. And bam, you guys are back on the deck of the ship, still alone. And you all materialize in the air about 6 feet above the deck and then just hit the wood. Next time you will learn. In my house, you pay honor to me. Not my uncle, not my father, not my stepmother, none of these other piddly gods. You pay homage to me.
Yes,
Is that understood?
Yes. Very clear. We failed your puzzle. We're sorry.
You did not fail my puzzle. In fact, the three of you made it further than any mortal has before. Memnon didn't even make it past the first room when I tested him.
Yay.
We apologize profoundly. We thought tales of our heroism would appeal to you. Katia's doing this like she's like, I hate life right now. Everything hurts. But she's trying to be as deferential as possible while she's like laying there on the deck staring up at Athena like, if you're going to kill me, make it quick. I hurt.
Perhaps I have been unkind. As a reward for performing with such valor in the face of a goddess, I will answer any 3 questions that you pose to me.
Right now.
Yes.
Well, there goes one.
that actually makes her laugh, Hero. Like, Athena, who had very obviously harbored nothing but disdain for you until this moment, chuckles just a little bit. No, child, that did not count as a question.
Oh, whew. I have a question then, great Athena.
Yes, Hero.
If all lives are worth the same, why do we serve kings? And if that is perhaps too bold, maybe I can put it a different way. Was the intent of your lessons to teach us that anyone can become great? Because I admit that this sort of wisdom is not my strong suit, and perhaps I'm doing too much thinking. I think you wanted us to be more glory-focused, but I guess that is my question.
These trials are arranged to show you the truths of the world. Things that have withstood time and will withstand time. One life does not mean more than another human life. The throne room was not about serving kings, but about earning respect. All men want respect, and no life is worth more or less than another. Surely, in such company, you would see that you're surrounded by the offspring of Olympus itself.
I'm trying to not ask another question.
Katia is just laying there, and she finally looks to Athena. Will the men, women, and our other friends return to the ship, or are we fated to remain in your realm since we failed you?
Oh, I will return you. The rest of the crew has proven themselves highly valuable. Diomedes himself was under my direct influence in the War of Treia. You will be returned to them. They have already been tested, whether they realize it or not.
Thank you.
Should we join and help Memnon to your greater glory, what fate beholds the three of us? Are we fated to live among the stars in legend, or shall we die young deaths?
That, my dear Pamphilos, depends entirely on your deeds. Memnon has a fate to follow. Whether he realizes it or not, it's already written for him. The three of you could be wonderful. You could be great. You could be heroes that are sung about for ages and eons, never forgotten. But you could also fall victim to the fates of other men. Men you'll surely encounter during this journey of yours. Men who failed. Not just me, but all the gods.
What's the recipe for ambrosia?
It would kill you to taste it. Though that wasn't one of your 3 questions. I'm happy to provide an answer.
Wait.
And
Did we
then...
just get 3 questions?
She's gone.
Wait.
And the 3 of you are exactly as you were.
That was only 3 total.
Laying on the deck of the ship, only now, when you blink and open your eyes, the crew's around you. And if you lift your head to look, Diomedes is standing at the bow of the ship with his arms full of rope. His face is white as a sheet, and his eyes are as big as dinner plates, and he just goes, "Oh, bloody hell. Oh God, where have you been?
It's a hero's life. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, gods and stuff doing great deeds.
We thought you were dead. We thought Memnon had killed you and thrown you overboard.
Breathe, Diomedes, breathe.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Memnon couldn't handle any one of us, let alone all three. So don't worry.
He couldn't. He's been asleep this whole time. We can't wake him. And there's more land approaching. I remember how I said I thought I knew where we were. The stars changed overnight. I don't know where we are. There's another island that shouldn't exist. And he sort of gestures off the bow of the ship. And
Pemphilos, how often do stars change?
Only when the gods deem it.
you see an island coming into view that's almost entirely made of shining black obsidian.
Great.
The sun reflecting off of it is almost blinding.
Oh.
But it looms ahead of you. And that's where we're going to stop this evening.
A hero's work is never done.
Yeah, so I was not expecting you guys to solve the puzzle so quickly. Way to ruin that one for me, guys. I thought I made the one with the kings really difficult, but just
We apologize for nothing. We're just heroes doing our job. Wait, isn't the first question's always supposed to be ask for more questions?
It's not like wishes. Athena is not a genie. You can't she's the goddess of wisdom. You're not
She's like
gonna
a super
outsmart
genie
her.
if you think about it. She's like the best genie.
Side note, I didn't have to, but I really wanted to write it in that Athena was gay, so I did. I decided to. Because I feel like it's important that we show that she has a softer side. And even though the canon of Greek mythology is that she never laid with a man, that doesn't cancel. So that was some Diana flavor that I got.
Some word trickery you got going on. I see what you did.
Tanya, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
You're the sweetest. So next week we will pick up on the Obsidian Isle. Again, we won't have B. Dave Walters with us. He told me today he has another scheduling conflict, but we are writing that into the story. So a lot of this adventure is going to be the three of you. It seems that B. Dave continues to have all kinds of issues, but you guys will just get to sort of rub that in Memnon's face.
I mean, all that great warrioring must have made him really sleepy.
Yeah,
he's just exhausted from being so famous.
From so amazing.
You guys should probably go check on him when we come back next week, just saying. In the meantime, Mason, where can people find you through the week? What you got going on?
You can find me on Wizard Rex TV here on Twitch. I will say that this week, and I've still got to put out our new schedule and everything, but we do have games on Monday and Wednesday. Our Wednesday campaign is returning this Wednesday, as well as, and Justice, correct me, we're TikToking with Bard and Barbarian for Call of Cthulhu on Thursdays. You guys are starting next Thursday? Not this week.
Wait,
but
hold
next
on.
week.
I have a date.
The 30th.
Yes, the
So
23rd.
Okay.
Well, I'm over there with you on Wizard Rex for Tritons.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
So we're finishing up our little Triton shot, our little mini campaign. That's happening this Thursday. The next Thursday, here, Justice,
Yes.
we are doing.
Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Monsters.
And then I guess the week after that is when we'll be starting back our Call of Cthulhu Dark Curiosities campaign. So that'll be a lot of fun.
The 6th of August.
Yeah. We have all sorts of fun stuff coming up. So go follow the channel if you like the role play things.
Miss Tanya, what do you have coming up this next week? I know you have a few exciting events.
Oh god, I have so much going on. 'Cause I realized before we went live, I forgot something really important when we ended Rivals earlier. So Wednesday on my channel, Cypher Tier, B. Dave Walters, Gabe Hicks, Quiddy, Critical Bard, and Brian Gray, Urban Bohemian, we're going to play my Infernal Goose one-shot. B. Dave and I promised for D&D block parties, so we're delivering on that.
Pretty excited for that.
I'm sending them to hell with level 12 characters.
Nice.
Thursday, Dragon Age resumes over at Wandering DM's channel, and Gabe Hicks is joining us. Unfortunately, Eugenio Vargas has a paid. Unfortunately, we don't get to play with him, but fortunately, he has a paid gig, so he can't join us. Saturday, second episode of Dungeon Crossing with Gary Whitta, Shannon Woodward, also Urban Bohemian, and Adam Nickerson, where we play D&D in the basement of my Animal Crossing house. And
So meta.
it's fun.
This is the true like epitome of 2020. Like we've peaked. This is peak 2020. Quarantine. We landed in Animal Crossing universe, and now we're playing D&D in Animal Crossing universe, and it's just.
And well, it came about because Gary Whitta has a talk show in his Animal Crossing house. So I got to be on there with I Am Brandon, who's on Rivals with me. And Gary mentioned that he'd never learned to play D&D. He grew up in the UK, never learned. And I was like, I could teach you. And now, hopefully, his misanthropic character will not get killed in the first real episode of what's turning into a show, I guess.
That's
but
so
yes,
exciting.
it's exciting. It's a little frightening. But I guess the conceit is everyone is new. Brian played but way back in the day, so everyone is new and or relearning to play D&D. So.
I'm glad that he's finally having an opportunity to use the dice you picked out for him. Like, I'm glad.
Yes, and we're trying to get him into some vampire because he used to LARP vampire.
Oh my gosh! Please tell me when that happens because I want to see it so bad.
I think it's the game Dave is planning for August 1st.
Kick ass.
Yes.
Sweet.
I didn't know you could even LARP vampire, but now I am intrigued.
Hit up Urban Bohemian.
Okay.
Still in the chat, but he used to LARP vampire.
Fuck yeah, I'll do that.
It's good stuff. Justice.
Yes.
What you got going on? Talk to me.
Well, this week, upcoming on Tuesday, we've got Like Seven Spoons channel. We do our Treasure Tuesday, where I'm really trying hard to get elected as mayor of this town that we just got into. And then on Thursdays, nothing this week on our channel. Friday, we're over on Q Times with some werewolf. Maybe this week, maybe next week.
If we can make our werewolves in time.
Yeah. And then Saturday morning cartoons, I've got a new one that I figured out just today, and I'm pretty excited about. So I got to get started writing.
He was real excited about it.
Yeah. Diana asked me not to share with her anymore, so I have.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna sit here and watch it, so I might as well like fresh eyes. Also, we just announced today, the bardandbarbarian.com is gonna launch at the end of this month. Finally, we're getting in all of our stuff, so we're good to go there. Also, there's going to be a news show with Devin Rue Sunday mornings. That'll probably swap out and have some other business professionals in the geek space and I chatting. Also, on the 29th here, you can catch me running a game of Dark Matter for Critical Bard, Nomadic Mason, and Latia Bryant. They all agreed to have a space heist with me, and I'm really excited about it. But they have a new Kickstarter coming, so I figured I'd play a game just to kick that off. But that's where you can find all of us, and I think, why don't we just raid over to B-Dave. It's Rock Punch ATL, right?
Yes.
Rock Punch ATL.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna kick it over to there, and we can watch B-Dave do some DMing for the D4 crew. Let's
While she's doing that, everybody look at your sub badges. Aren't those so cool?
I requested mustaches that'll grow the longer you're sub to the channel, so that's really exciting, and they're adorable, and I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, kicking it over to Rock Punch ATL now. Good night, guys. We love you all. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.